What's up guys and what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today, before we get to the main topic of this video, I just wanted to show you guys the progress that I have made with the Evo 9 that I have. Alright, so finally, if you guys watched my video from yesterday, I didn't have no glove compartment box. Now I do. Hell yeah, right? I also have the little middle piece now. This has been missing for the longest time and I finally got it. So now the interior looks like an actual interior piece. To fix this up, I finally got the battery piece hooked up to make it look more official. And I also took out the old intake that I had on here and I custom fabbed. I got two 45-degree pipes. This coupler, the two 45-degree pipes, and instead of putting a filter, I actually put one of those Vortex generators. Now, this is probably like a cheaper one just from Pep Boys, but it looks pretty badass. It looks really badass. I like it, so I'm gonna keep it there for right now. I think this whole thing right here maybe costed me $90 to maybe $80 to $100. I have to check the receipts, but it was right around there. And instead of buying a brand new intake for the SD, this worked pretty well, so I'm pretty happy with it. So I just wanted to show you guys that before we get to the main topic. What's going on, guys? And today's topic is going to be on what got me into tuning. A lot of people ask me from time to time, how do I get into tuning? How did I start? Stuff like that. Also, I have my little homie right here, my African Gray Congo. He's gonna join the party for at least a little bit of it, unless he starts irritating me. But he's a little homie. The main question I always get is, how did I get started in tuning? And I'll stop. You're about to go back in the cage soon. The main reason why I got into tuning in the first place was because when I first got my Evo, I was never into cars before that Evo. The Evo is what actually got me into cars. When I got that, I wanted to add parts. I got it professionally tuned. And it's something about the tuning. I've always been a guy that's always been into computers, always liked computers, but I never thought cars would be my actual like career path. Working on the Evo, after I got it professionally tuned, I decided to learn how to tune for myself. Now, granted, I was at the time, what, 21? No. About 22, I think, 22. I'm like, man, I got this $18,000 car that I'm still making payments on. I'm like, man, if I do decide to tune, then I have the chance of blowing up my own car. I wasn't gonna sugarcoat it. I got the computer, a laptop, a decent sized laptop. I had gotten a decent sized computer, EvoScan, and ECU flash. I had gotten both of those. And I started reading a lot of tutorials. That kind of brings me on to the next question that I get asked a lot of, how do I get started in tuning? All right, a lot of people ask me that all the time. Like, okay, I want to possibly tune my own car. How did you get into tuning? And the answer that I mainly tell people is, buy an older car. Don't start on like a newer Subaru or a Evo 10, you know. Get like an old school Subaru, like a WRX, like a 04, something that you could open source. Cobb, you can do Cobb, you can learn on Cobb, but the problem is that you would have to pay that $250, get the software, plus the Cobb access port, and the main problem with that is that there's not a lot of guides on how to tune on Cobb itself. Cobb does offer the course, but it only shows the basics. It doesn't tell you what each table means, what, you know, how to do this and that. So I would say to go to open source, get like a, you know, I'm talking to the main like WRX Evo base because that's all I tune. So I don't know how many of my viewers actually like view other things. Look, I'm gonna have to put him back. He's biting the hell out of my ear, and he's gonna have to go back in the cage. So be right back. Sorry guys, I had to go put my African Gray on his cage because he was biting the hell out of my ear. I try to tell people to start on older model cars instead of their brand new $30,000 car. I started on my Evo, which is about like $18,000. The Evo was a little bit easier because all I had to do was get a cable, ECU flash, and Evo scan, which was free. There's a lot of guides. There's a lot of guides on how to tune Evos, what each table does, and to me, some of that stuff actually applies to the 04 WRX open source, about like in terms of the tables. There's a lot of guides that tell you about the tables in depth, how to properly tune your car. In terms of learning how to tune your own car, the best advice I can really give you is practice on your own car first. Do not try to tune your friends' cars, all right? That can end up badly really quick if you try to learn on a friend's car, or if you try to work for a shop and you learn on customers' cars, okay? That might be your boy for the past 10 years, but once you blow up his $20,000 car, it's a whole nother story. When I first started, I tuned my own Evo. I mean, I had upgraded injectors, upgraded cams, and I read a lot of guides, man. It was a lot of reading. My head hurt for a good couple months because I was just reading. And what really, for me, what it was is that I saw other cars with the same similar mods that got tuned by other really good tuners. I tried to match the numbers that they got and try to tune mine. But I made small increments. I made small changes. Like, I did all the fueling, made sure that was perfect, correct. And sometimes I would even restart it. Like, I would get it to the point where my car would not even start anymore, and then go back, try to challenge myself to redo it until I got it down super pat. Then I moved on to doing timing and stuff like that, and you know, how to understand timing, how to do it on the road, how to pretty much know where they start to knock at, stuff like that. I learned on my own car first. While I was out in Kansas, there was it's in the middle of nowhere, all right? So there was a lot of racing going on. I would go out every weekend and race. Stephanie would tell you this, like, I would go out every weekend and race the Evo, and this was back when it was making like 320. People saw other Evo people that were in the area saw, and they were like, yo, who tuned your car? Because I was out there destroying cars. Like, I'm not gonna say I have like driver mod or anything, but like, people saw me beating other Evos. It was just incredible because these people that were my friends that had other Evos would come up and ask me like, yo, who tuned your car? And I'm like, I tuned it myself. Even when I used to go to car meets, I would have my laptop up on top of my car, and people would be like, what the hell are you doing, dude? I'm like, I'm just in my car, I'm tuning my car. And that kind of brought in more people to be like, hey man, you want to try to tune my Evo, stuff like that. But before I even told them yes, I wanted to tackle E85. I tackled that. I did a lot of research, a lot of research, because I had no dyno to practice with it. So I had to use virtual dyno, and you know, virtual dyno in itself is just an estimate. The numbers can change. Can't really know a real number unless you go bring it on like a Dynojet or something like that. I took it by chance and tuned my Evo on ethanol, got it to about like 400 on E85 with virtual dyno, so I'm kind of happy that nothing blew up. Nothing went wrong, stuff like that. Once I tuned E85, I moved on to doing my friend's cars. I did one friend's car, helped him out with some stuff, some drivability issues he was having. And in the meantime of this, I kept reading. You know, a lot of people will sit there and be like, hey man, do like a 20 PSI map, doing this, doing that, and it's like, no dude, I don't do it. I can't do it that way, because just for the simple reason of each car can be tuned, it has to be tuned differently. Even with the same car, same parts, most of the time, it's gonna have different numbers at the end of the day. Different numbers in terms of in the tune, ignition timing, air fuel ratio. So, you know, there's different combinations that you have to use. I started tuning my friends' cars, got really good with that. And I took a break. I took a break for like 2 years because my Evo had broke, and I had a couple DSMs, so I didn't really take a break because I learned another software. By the time I got to Maryland, I think I was there for a couple months before I found out that the shop near me, Nexus Motorsports, was opening up a shop. Well, they already had their shop open. I didn't know that they were gonna have a dyno, so let me tell you what happened, guys. I went there on like a Wednesday, something like that, to go check out the shop. They were like, hey man, yeah, I'm getting a dyno. So I was like, dude, I'm gonna go to this EFI class this weekend. I'm gonna fly out. It's like $2,000, $3,000, whatever. And I flew out, went to go take the tuning class. And let me just tell you guys, I can't speak for other people, but I feel like I wasted $3,000 going and traveling and taking an EFI learning. I learned the basics, all right? I learned the pure basics, which I felt like I could have learned on the internet. Like all the stuff that they taught, it was good information, but it was already stuff that I had read because I was deep searching on the web. Like I learned a lot of the basic stuff, but that basic stuff is not gonna help you tune a Evo platform. Is not gonna help you tune a Subaru platform. Like, it's like, to me, the way I explain it to people is that learning the basics of EFI is like learning addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. When you get to the actual platform of Subaru or Evos or GTRs, or, you know, individual platforms, to me it's like learning fucking calculus. It's a whole nother world. You know the fundamentals. Like, you know, if you go too much timing, it's gonna knock at some point. You know, like air fuel ratio, or like how rich, like, you know the fundamentals, but you don't know the platform itself. You don't know how much timing that platform likes. It's two different things. Evo platforms compared to, it's way different. If you want to get into tuning, don't waste your money on these $3,000 classes, stuff like that. Definitely look into doing research, man. There's so many guides, especially on older Subarus and older Evos, that you can learn a lot just from reading those guides. And my best advice is, like, don't practice on your friends' cars and then try to learn on yours. No, like, learn on yours first, get really good at it, get proficient at it, and then slowly move on to friends' cars. Charge $0 to your friends, especially when you're first starting out. Sorry if I'm not looking directly at, I'm still like new to this, so like I keep looking at the screen compared to the actual camera. What else can I say? The next big thing that I can tell people is that the Tuning World certificates are like nothing to other tuners. Alright, you'll pretty much get laughed at if you're flaunting them or stuff like that. All right, it really just comes down to experience at the end of the day. A lot of people ask me, well, how do you gain experience if nobody will allow you to tune them? All right, let me just tell you, like, just a brief short story. Okay, I was a nobody a couple years ago in the tuning world. I tuned my own car first. I tuned one of my best friend's cars for free. His ended up really good. I tuned another one for free, tuned another one for free, and these are all friends' cars. I didn't charge them anything because I wanted more practice. Luckily, nobody's car that I've tuned so far have blown up, and that just keeps a really good reputation on you, especially if you're getting good results. As soon as I worked at Nexus Motorsports, I was able to become a Cobb Pro Tuner, learn the Subaru platform. Granted, I didn't have a Subaru for myself, but I did a lot of research. Could they have turned out better? Yeah, of course, they could have turned out better. But it just comes with the experience, guys. You got to build up each car, build up experience, keep building up, keep building up. All right, that is what's going to get you into the tuning world and be respected in the tuning world, is experience at the end of the day. Don't complain that, you know, X and Y shop won't want you because you don't have a polished experience resume for tuning or stuff like that. Just build it up. There's so many people that need tunes for their cars, and if they see that your personal car does really good and it has no issues, they will come to you. Trust me, they will come to you, because a lot of people try to take the cheap way out. They rather go through a friend than through a shop that's going to charge them a lot more money, and that's just how it is. Build up your reputation. Do a good job. Don't blow up anybody's shit. I hope I answered a lot of your guys' questions. If there is any more questions, just ask in the comment box below, and I will try to explain it the best that I can, or I'll make another video on it if I get enough of the same question. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I am Dre from Ambot Tuned, and if you like the video, please subscribe, share it around. More videos to come. And thank you guys for tuning in. Peace out.